All right, I don't know if you guys heard the music, but that is the old school A-Team theme music. And greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host from Lions Talk Live, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us in here today for some little bit of news, a little bit of topic, a little bit of fun. Because you know what? Colin Cowherd, the national media person that most of us probably know if you pay attention to sports radio. Hey, once again, he's at it with the Detroit Lions. He's coming after us. And I'm going to give full credit to this. I want to give credit to Easy over at Woodward Sports. He did a video last night about the Colin Cowherd and some of the rankings for the coaches in the NFL. I happened to be watching it while showing some houses, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong on this, but doesn't Colin Cowherd typically have an issue with the Detroit Lions? So, you know what? I wanted to, I love it when a plan comes together. That's where I was going with the A-Team thing. And just want to say, I wanted to do a little bit of research last night and this morning and said, you know what? He has done a lot of things against the Detroit Lions, talking badly about MCDC, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. He often puts out rankings for different things, positional groups, whatever. And I noticed a trend as I dove into this, doing what Hannibal would do from the A-Team, doing it to make sure, because he loves it when a plan comes together. He does his research, make sure everything gets all set. And yeah, I think I found a lot of different stuff for you guys to come on out and check out about Colin Cowherd, and maybe he just is attacking the Detroit Lions on a regular basis, disrespecting, whatever you want to say. And again, full credit to the guys over at Woodward Sports to kind of tip me off to this. Hey, they got the ball rolling, and I picked it up and ran with it. So, all right, if you are not new to Lions Talk Live, this will probably not be a surprise to you, but we are making a move here to get to 6,900 subs. We're about 15 subs away. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. If you can take a moment of time, either while you're watching it right here, right now, or throughout the show, if you enjoy the channel and all that we try to do for you, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. It helps the channel out a lot. We attempt to get each video between 200 to 300 or more thumbs up, likes, or whatever. It's free of charge, and it takes half a second of time. Last but not least, if you are not aware, I am a realtor. Outside of being a coach, YouTuber, etc., and 50 other different jobs I have, I am a realtor, have been for a really long time, enjoy doing it, enjoy working with people, educating them on why this is an issue, why this isn't a problem for a house. If you live in Michigan, when they built your house, did they take all the clay out of the underneath, the base of the foundation or the sides of the foundation? Why is that important? Is that a 2-prong, 3-prong outlet? What is a 220 amp service? What is a regular service? Just different aspects of the house that I've come to learn over 30 years that most people just do not know, so I try to help them out with that. If you want somebody who's going to work on your behest, try to save you some money, make the process a whole lot easier, you see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send over a carrier pigeon. Whatever you got to do, let's have a conversation, see what we can do to save you some money. If you're outside of Michigan, you can still contact me. Just have to do things a little bit differently. All right, now for the jibber jabber, got all that out of the way. And also, if you're not new to the show, you already know this. But if you are new, then you don't know this. So we're going to go ahead and get into 5 topics now. 5 topics that aren't the main topic of today's show. Get into that, keep you guys in the know what's happening with the Detroit Lions and anything that's building up chatter-wise across the nation in regards to your favorite team. So without further ado, let's get into 5 headlines now. All right, 5 headlines now. Let's get it going. The All-NFC North preseason team, defensive line. This comes from Sports Illustrated. And Joe Nelson, one of the reporters over there, I thought, man, you're talking about the Lions getting a lot of disrespect, being attacked by Colin Cowherd. Here's a group going in a completely different direction. I feel like every day, every morning when I get up and do the 5 headlines now, there's 1 or 2 stories from Sports Illustrated about the Detroit Lions and not in a negative fashion. Nelson goes on to list his top 4 players for the defensive line in the NFC North. And you know what? He's got 2 of the 4 going to your Detroit Lions. So yes, in case you were wondering, he's got DJ Reader and Hutchinson up there as far as 2 of the top 4 defensive line players in the entire division. And that says something because, as we all know, the Green Bay Packers have a pretty dang good defense. The Chicago Bears have a pretty good defense. The Minnesota Vikings, it may not be what it was just a couple seasons ago, but I'd say they still got some pretty good players. So to have half of the defensive starting line from his predictions beat Detroit Lions. Man, how things have changed for the Lions. All right, a little bit of fun here. Representative John James booed at the RNC after bragging about Lions in Packers territory. Warmest regards from Detroit, and that is from Fox News. And not a real huge Lions story there, obviously. But hey, the fact that he had a little fun while over at whatever the RNC is, having a little bit of fun with that and saying, hey, Lions rule and Packers drool. I thought that was pretty cool of him to do so. All right, Brandon Ayuk requests trade from 49ers. This is from the AP, an AP source says, and this is from AP News. So the Associated Press, I know I had a kind of a breaking news video about it, and I'm sure anywhere you could go yesterday, you could find news about Brandon Ayuk requesting or wanting out of San Francisco. Even some reports, as we had in the morning show yesterday, suggesting that the 49ers can make a decision to sign Ayuk and ship off Debo. So will that happen? I don't know. I doubt it. My inclination, and I don't have any inside source or information on this, my thought process would be that they're going to keep Debo Samuel and get rid of Brandon Ayuk. But you never know. Read the story. They suggest things for both situations. And yes, the Lions are mentioned in there in regards to being a possible destination for Brandon Ayuk. All right, breakout candidates for each NFC North team. This comes from another Sports Illustrated lead. This by John Macaron, probably known throughout Lions fandom because he does specifically cover the Detroit Lions. So go ahead and check it out. Spoiler alert, I figured I'd throw it at you. Aleem McNeil is listed by him as to be the number one breakout candidate for the Detroit Lions, and I would agree. We've debated on the show. McNeil's in a real good situation in a contract year. Man, I think they're going to wedge him between Reeder and Hutchinson most of the time. We'll wait and see what happens, but that is my anticipation. Not huge news for headline number 5, but former Detroit Lions wide receiver signs with Houston Texans. That's from SB Nation story by Jeremy Risman. And in case you're wondering, gosh, I just drew a blank who it was. Quentin Cephas. There you go. He signed with them. Good for him. Hope he gets things back on track. I always liked the guy. Yes, he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, you could say, by placing bets on NFL games. It is what it is. Hopefully he learns his lesson and doesn't do that again to jeopardize his career further. All right, with those out of the way, I do want to point out to you guys at the bottom of the hour, Anthony from Lions Roar UK is going to try to jump on. It is a little bit different time zone for him, so he's going to try to jump on at 7:30 a.m. our time. So the bottom of the hour, about 22 minutes. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go over to the main topic of the day. All right, so we got a couple different video clips for you guys. Apologies if I don't always do the greatest job with getting these things lined up for you guys. It's a little bit different when I have more time to prep for these things and get everything all set up for you. But we'll try to Scooby-Doo it, make the best out of it. So we're going to start off here with, Colin Cowherd yesterday. Hey, he had a little bit of stuff about Detroit Lions.
I love Kyle, but he is very tied to his play sheet.
There we go.
Kyle is very good. He is a Andy Reid type coach, a play designer. Number 7, Matt LaFleur. Thought last year the playoff win over Dallas in Dallas with the youngest team since the 1970 Buffalo Bills.
And spoiler alert, so you guys don't have to wait all day for this. He does not have MCDC Dane Campbell in his top 10 list. You can obviously see his top 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 here.
In the league.
And no Campbell. And I'm going to throw you a bone here so we don't have to go all day with this. He also has Lions Kyle, not in the top 5
he
either.
He is very tied to
I
his
agree
play
with it.
sheet.
At this point, probably not. Good. I would probably put MCDC somewhere around
type coach,
I don't know,
play designer.
8 through 4 in that range. I mean, it's all debate. It's all question mark. It's all personal opinion.
Since the
but it is what
Buffalo
it is.
Bills
Colin Cowherd did not have the Lions
Number 8,
in his
Kevin
top 10 list.
The Browns. Come on, man. The guy is.
And again, it's hard to fault with somebody because it is your opinion. But as we're going to see with a little bit more of these videos,
he's got the most wins in the league
consistent theme
without a Super
emerging
Bowl
from
title.
Colin Cowherd
Again, like
here.
Mike Mike Tomlin,
in that
don't love his inability to create consistent run games. Number 10, I know he doesn't have a big resume.
And
damn, I think D'Amico Ryans
we'll get over
great.
to another bit
I got to tell you something.
All right, we'll stop the share on that one. And hold on just a second, please. Yeah, like I said, it's a little easier when I have a little bit more time to queue these things up. But I was kind of in a race this morning getting this stuff all ready for you guys. So maybe not the best setup by my behalf ever. All right, let's see which one to go here. All right, so not a big one here, but if you'd see the screen, it's going to be tough here. I'll try to circle it here. Colin Cowherd, when Detroit Lions MCDC was first hired, really came after him. I had to look for a while to find this video, and I'm not going to bother playing it. It's just a long rant by him. But he talks about how, MCDC shouldn't have been hired as the head coach for the Detroit Lions. Said that basically MCDC, he's just someone that isn't ready to be a head coach. And is that the end of the world? No, it isn't. But it shows a consistent line of thinking from Colin Cowherd. Here's another one here we'll throw at you. So if I was to ask you guys, where would you rank Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown as far as the quarterback wide receiver duo? And again, I'm not going to play the video. We don't have all day for that before Anthony gets on at the bottom of the hour. But as you can see here, he's got the Lions all the way down, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Do we really think they're the 10th best wide receiver quarterback combo in the league? So I did a little bit of Scooby-Dooing research on this last night. And if you look at just the metrics, so last year in the league, where would you rank these two? They end up being number 5. In the last 2 years, they're actually number 3. So look at this list. And the stats don't lie. That's one thing we can all agree on. It's not an opinion. It's a stat. It's something that's been accumulated over time. So you look at that and you say, man, why is Colin Cowherd coming at you, dropping the hammer on you, trying to once again come after the Detroit Lions, MCDC? Jared Goff, do you really have that level of, disapproval? Or you think that little of Amon-Ra St. Brown or any of the 3? And it's not just these 3 guys. You go through tons of his rankings, and he's consistently kind of attacking the Detroit Lions. Either that or maybe he just thinks we just luck out and win or whatever it is. If you really thought that MCDC shouldn't have been hired as the head coach of the Detroit Lions, then, okay, I get it. Maybe he thought he wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared. But the opposite side of that's got to be true. Look at what MCDC, this coaching staff, and all the players have done in that amount of time. They've gone ahead and they've gone ahead and taken a team that was terrible, and they took them to a 3, whatever it was, in one season. Then they skyrocketed to a 9-win season. That's quite an improvement. I mean, that's 3 times the amount of wins. And then obviously last year, you get the 12-win regular season, matches a franchise record. It's the biggest turnaround in the franchise in 30-plus years. You go out and win a playoff game. You go out and win a division. Yes, I get it's the first time you've done either of those in 30-plus years. But then you take it another level. You win 2 playoff games. And you know what? You've got the San Francisco 49ers on the road in their house, on the ropes. We all get it. You had a couple things that didn't go your way. And there's another video I found here, but I just don't know if we got the time to play it before we get into your guys' comments. I guess we can hop on it for a second, but he really comes after the Detroit Lions when they lose the game. Then to that, I could at least say, hey, I sort of get that because I can understand you shouldn't probably have blown that game. It is what it is, though. Let's, I guess, real quick, go ahead and take a stab at that one. Get that up for you guys here.
Win it, or did the Lions lose it? And I got to be honest with you, it kind of felt like the latter. It took a lot to beat Detroit themselves. A reckless head coach, a ball that ricocheted off a defender and became a 51-yard San Francisco catch, a drop pass or 3, and a key fumble by a talented rookie. Suddenly, a 24-10 lead melted, and the Lions were playing catch-up on the road, and here comes the Niners pass rush. Detroit is an excellent young football team. San Francisco's an excellent veteran football
Oh boy. So you guys missed everything I said? Mic isn't working? Well, at least I caught it now versus then. So, all right. Well, thanks for that, guys. Sorry about that. So, hey, things happen, but at least you got to hear what they were saying in the video segments, I'm assuming. So, yeah, and right now, I got a bunch of people text me the sound is off. So, sorry about that, guys. That's my bad. Hey, sometimes it happens. All right, let's get over to you guys, see what you guys have to say. Good morning, Duke Crew. Heard a little too much today. I see Super Bowl. Woo! There we go. Clark, good morning, Duke Crew. Woo! Skip Cowherd, he's the new Skip Drip Bayless. All right, very good. And there's probably a lot of truth to that. Big Eddie, greetings and salutations. Maybe Colin disrespecting us is a good thing. Sometimes like something like this can fire the flames of players and coaches. What do you think, Coach Dan? 100% with that. 100%. Yes, I think you're spot on. Something like this could be a galvanizing force. Get people all fired up and, yeah, get them going. All right, Mutzgar, do you dream of me? Question mark. Entwined in finding the Lombardi. Morning to all. Again, good morning to you too. All right, Jason, good morning, Duke Crew. He's a shock jock. Yeah, usually intriguing, but I haven't heard his take yet. I would agree with that. Yeah, he knows what he's doing, Jason, as far as getting everybody fired up. All right, Mike DeMarine, howdy, Dan and Duke Crew. Guess what day it is? Hump Day. Woo, woo. And good morning to you too. Hopefully I'm a great one and just for you. Yeah, sorry about the mic, guys. Sorry about that. AJ, good morning. All right. And AJ, good morning. Oh, first time I've been able to chat for a while. Glad the season is almost back, baby. 100% with that. Good morning to you and glad you're back. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Off to the gym to work out. I have my yearly testing for work in 2 months, so I've got to get ready for that. Listen in. I'll listen in. Hope everyone has a great day. Same to you. Hopefully it's a great day. And yeah, glad you're here. Glad you're getting ready for your big test. All right, Big Daz. Good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. Cowherd just likes to stir the pot, cause a raucous. Yeah, 100% with that. 100%. Big Daz. Got to get out and hit the links this morning about 9ish. Hey, we'll go have fun with that. Yeah, swing away and have a good one. Yeah, shoot them straight. Moonscar, hey, welcome back, AJ. Welcome back. Welcome back to you too, buddy. Hopefully you had a great trip. Let's see, buddy. Howdy do, crew. Back at you. Bo, he's not exactly a great writer by fire. Imagine if all of guys shared our dreams of Lombardi. Hey, I'd be okay with that because it's Super Bowl or bust, I believe, this year. Matthew Greens, the salutations. Good morning, everyone. Superdome, Super Bowl. Woo, woo, woo. And hey, good morning to you too, Matthew. Jesse, what's shocking? What's shaking and baking this morning, Duke Crew? Skip Cowherd. The next time he's right on something will be the first time. Coach, would that be some breaking news? Well, hey, we got some breaking news. If he gets it right, then yes, that'll be the first time. And I would probably agree with you on that. But like you guys are all aware, he's out here to try to get after things. He's out here to try to, get people fired up. So take that into consideration. Buddy, Colin Cowherd is clickbait material. There could be a lot of that. Yes, Cowherd, yes. You said Cowherd. Fair enough, man. Doug Greens, salutations. Good call on that, buddy. Yeah, 100%. Trey, what's good all? Question mark. The season must be near because we've got people hating on us. That's probably, an accurate statement because you do have it does seem like last year we were the darlings, or what do you want to say, the hot topic, the hot team in the NFL. Everybody wanted to watch us, see us do this, that, see what could be done, what's happening with Detroit Lions. The renaissance of the Detroit Lions, I guess, is what everybody wanted to see. And you know what? Now, maybe some of that is turning to hate. They weren't as good as we think. We don't agree with this move, that move, or whatever. So you could be really right on that. All right, so hold on. Something's happening with my screen there. All right, there we go. Screen was messing up for a second there. All right, man, we got a couple errors this morning, I guess. Sorry about the sound again, guys. So sorry about that. All right, let's see, Joseph. Good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Is everyone ready for training camp? I know I am. Just a short week away. Woo! Colin Cowherd has never anything good to say about the Lions. You're probably not wrong about that. Yeah, he takes his shots, as we've tried to point out this morning. Why? Could be a lot of different reasons. Maybe it's how he really thinks. That I don't know, but I would say this. He doesn't seem to be the greatest fan of what we're doing here in Detroit. All right, hold on. Screen's messing up again. Man, something is going on this morning. All right, Joseph, but we know how good they are. Yes, we do know how good they are. Hey, Broski Bear, Colin Cowherd didn't put your Dan Campbell in the top 10 list, and Lions fans are so upset, laughing out loud. Dan hasn't earned being in the top 10. All he has under his belt is winning the division once. Well, that and 2 playoff games. To me, you want to see if somebody's good at something, and I don't care if it's sports. I don't care if it's, day trading, or whatever. What situation do they take over? And I would say most people would say the Detroit Lions or MCDC took over a franchise in disarray. A franchise that, hey, let's try to be as fair as we can be here, was really going nowhere. And look what he's done with it in just 3 seasons. I mean, to me, that would show he's doing something right. Now, doesn't mean he's the greatest of all time. No. Does it mean he's, Hall of Fame worthy? No, it doesn't. But every year, you've gotten significantly better. This will be the big test, I think, this year, because improving upon a 12-win, 2 playoff win season and a division title, as you point out, Broski, that's going to be tough. But, maybe he's up to the challenge. Maybe he can get it done. So, we'll see. All right, Bo, I think Colin as a snowflake, I think of Colin as a snowflake in my palm. Interesting until it melts away. Fair enough. Joseph, the heck with Colin Cowherd? Yes, 100%. Michael D, Green Sanitation's coach and Duke Crew, exclamation points. Super Bowl or bust, one pride. Woo, woo. All right, we'll go with that, and good morning. Broski, you need more than winning the division once to be considered a top 10 coach. Facts don't care about your feelings. Okay, but if you got to be a top 10 coach, you got, D'Amico Ryans on that list. And last year was his first year coaching with the Texans or as a head coach. So correct me if I'm wrong. Did they win a playoff game? Did they win a division? That's kind of my point, I guess. All right, let's see. Lions fan number 1, Green Sanitation, Duke Crew gang. Good to see you back, Broski. Yes, good to have him back. Everybody loves the Broski Bear. So, hey, it's good to have him in the chat. Let's see, Bo. Now here's our Vermont morning broski. There we go. There we go. Joseph, so what does that say about the Bears coach? Ooh, that's, I guess, a good point as well. Joseph laughing out loud. Let's see, Broski, Caleb, and Rome both signed their rookie contracts yesterday. Yes, they did, and congrats for that, by the way, Broski. The beginning of an era has begun in Chicago. These two will be tormenting the Lions' Swiss cheese defense for years to come. I like that, Broski. Hey, it's good to have you back, man. Both, good morning. There you go. Good morning, Coach, and to my extended family of the Duke Crew. One pride. Same to you, Hugadoo. Hopefully having a great one. Doug, looks like a lot of graffiti already this morning. It is, man. It does. But, hey, people are out shaking and baking. Broski, Lions fan number 1, good morning to you, too. Phil, Mr. Bear, welcome. You've been missed. I would agree with that. I think a lot of people have missed you while you've been away there, Broski. Quentin Green, salutations. Y'all want to know when to go all in on a bet when Colin says you ain't nothing. All right, we'll go with that. And I would probably agree. There's probably a level of truth to that. Broski, I didn't want to become a hindrance to Dan's show, but being away and seeing how it was going here, I came to the conclusion the show is better with Broski in the chat. I hope everyone is doing well. Hey, we're happy you're back there, Broski Bear. We're welcome back. Broski, this is a great group of people here, and I actually do respect the Lions fan base. We like you too, man. We like you too. Let's see, Broski, Phil, hola amigo, 100%. We'll go with that. Phil, waving, buddy. Broski, what you trying to say is the Bears will end the losing streak to the Packers? Yeah, maybe they will, man. It's been a while, hasn't it, for that one? Phil, so far, Caleb has not shown much. Well, we'll see what he is by the end of training camp, and he's a rookie. I'm expecting he's going to have some struggles. The good thing for the Bears, if you're going to look from their perspective, is they got a little bit of time until they play the Lions. I'd say, Broski, buddy, the Bears have been such a disgrace of an organization since Urlacher retired. I can't guarantee anything. I think they are building the team the right way, though. Well, that's a good thing. All right, we'll go with that. Phil, he hasn't shown anything. He hasn't played in an NFL game yet. This is also true. Big Daz, the Bear is back. Yes, he is. Phil, The pressure on a young first pick is tremendous. I hope Caleb is okay mentally. All right, we'll see how he does. Bo, is the Bear piano black? Is the Bear? We'll have to see. Detroit D, green salutations, everyone. Back at you, D. Hopefully, I'm having a great one. Broski, Phil, that's the one thing I'm not worried about with Caleb. He knows how to handle the spotlight. He's been groomed for this since he was 12. He already has rock star vibes. Could be a level of truth to that. I think there's a whole lot of truth to that as a USC fan. Broski Bear, was that the V word you used earlier? Oh, okay. Big Daz, good morning to you too. Don's okay, since Broski Bear security Don is back, filtering all Chicago Teddy Bear talk. Hey, you got to have balance, right? You got to have the him to the haw. Bo, he whom shall not be named. All right. Broski Bear, Don Berg, good morning. Don Berg, Caleb handles the spotlight by jumping in mommy's arms crying after a loss. We'll have to wait and see. Broski, Don Bear, just a minute. Life isn't the same without Broski Bear. It is a little different. Don, Broski, good morning. And no life is great without Broski Teddy Bear. This is true. Nobody enjoys life without the Broski. Big Daz missed having the Broski comments. We got him back. Don, let's see. Broski Bear, Don Bird, this is a true story. Can't deny that. I think he's grown since then, but we'll see. Given the Bears' outstanding history with quarterbacks. Let's see. If you're a Bears fan, you're hoping Caleb Williams is not the next in the line of many Bears quarterbacks. Don, I miss chin checking Broski comments. All right, there we go. Phil, who is this? Who is this? All right. Hi, Bear. I'm out worky. All right. Well, go worky. And hopefully having a great day there, Trumps. Jason, Dan, and the A-team of Destiny. There you go. Yes, we are getting the crew back together. We got a plan. Big Daz, even though the Lions through and through. Yes, you got to be a Lions fan through and through. Broski, Trump's genius. Good morning, sir. Bo, pity the poor fool. There, yes, you do. Pity the fool. Sanders, 20 to 32. How's it going, fellas? Go Lions, 100%. Hopefully having a great one. Love the Wolverine photo, by the way. Can't wait for the movie in about, I guess it's next week, isn't it? Yeah, it's coming right up. David, good morning. Duke crew from hot and humid Chesapeake, Virginia. Well, hopefully you're enjoying it. Buddy, woo! There you go. Good morning to you too, buddy. Let's see, Phil, I pity the fool. You have to pity the fool. Ban the woo. Motown Mitch, green salutations, coaching crew, Lions rule, Bears rule. Don, I pity the woo. All right. Hey, I like what you did there. Answer 14, green salutations, Dan and the Duke crew. Lions have silenced critics for a couple years now. No doubt they will continue to shut mouths and open eyes. Go Lions. Woo! Answer 14, good to see you back in the chat, my friend. Good to see you. All right, it's about that time to bring forth the man, the myth, the undefeated world's heavyweight champion. That is, it's got Anthony from Lions Roar UK. So let's go ahead and get him onto the show. I got to get the comments off the air though. So hold on a second, and then we can bring him on. Anthony, how you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing good, Dan. Morning to you, morning to the Jew crew. Hope everybody is doing well on this lovely Wednesday.
I think so. Everybody is up and at them. Hey, we got a good group going, waiting for your arrival. Wish I had some theme music to throw in to properly bring you in. But let's get talking about it. Colin Cowherd, once again, has come out and seemingly attacked the Detroit Lions. I don't know if you're aware, yesterday, Cowherd put out his top 10 NFL coaches, and suspiciously, MCDC himself, Dan Campbell, was not on the list. Do you agree with Colin Cowherd? Or do you think that, maybe MCDC should have been somewhere on the list? What are your thoughts?
I think Colin Cowherd's just he's just an engagement magnet, isn't he? He creates all these lists to drive engagement. That's what his bosses tell him to do. He's there to stir the pot, get people mad, and to elicit a response from them. And that's what it is. And I'm sort of having a look at this list because I listened to the starting show. I'd not actually realized he'd done this. So I've been looking through it and I'm thinking, how is he not in there? Like, he is a top 10 coach in the NFL, I believe, right now. I mean, you take a look down at this list and some of the guys in there, and you've got to wonder, how is he ranking it? Is he ranking it on, what have you done for me lately? Is he ranking all-time coaches? What have they done in there? Because you look, and, you've got the likes of, he's got Tomlin there at 5. I mean, great. Like, Tomlin is a great NFL head coach. He has been for a very long time. But the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016. And they've been a poor team for a very long time now. They're more bothered about their winning record than actually been a good football team. And in the time that Dan's been in the league, he's taken one of the worst teams in the NFL historically and has taken them up to an NFC championship game. So is it just you putting Tomlin in there because he's got a Super Bowl? Fine. But then Kevin Stefanski's in there. And you're thinking, well, hang on. The criteria for Kevin Stefanski to be in there will be, well, he took over the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns, another historically poor franchise who've never done anything. And what did he do? He got them a playoff win. That's it. He got them a playoff win. Ironically, over the Steelers, who were an incredibly poor team there. And that's it. And his team has regressed since. They've not got back there. So if you're putting him in because he's taken a bad franchise and made them good, then you've got to put Dan in there. So it just seems that the criteria is all over the place. He's putting guys in from what they've done before or guys for what they're doing now. But over the last 3 years, while Dan has been in the league, he has taken one of the worst teams ever, and he's taken them to an NFC championship game. His team is getting better year on year. It has not stopped improving, and it could be going to a Super Bowl this year. And in terms of the job he's done, he's right up there because no other head coach has done this for the Lions before.
Right.
So I am very confused as to what the criterion is for this. But I know Dan is a lot better than some of the guys in there right now, even the ones who've had success in the past because they're living off past glories. Dan should be in the top 10.
I thought another one to kind of further your point there, Anthony. He's got DeMarco Ryans as number 10, and DeMarco Ryans last year, first-year coach. I get, the Texans were a great story last year, did a lot of good things, but we talk about what have you done, and he's done it in 1 year. MCDC, to your point, man, he's had 3 seasons here, and every season you've taken one of the worst franchises in all of sports across the planet, and you've made them relevant to the point where people now are talking about them. You came within a stone's throw of making the championship game. I mean, I get your point. Here's my next question for you, Anthony. So Colin Cowherd also had a ranking for quarterback/receiver tandems. He had Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown, number 10 in the league. Do you think Goff and Brown are the 10th best quarterback wide receiver duo in all the NFL?
No. I think you would have to look higher than that because when it comes to these guys, you've got to think, where have they come from? Like, where were they at? Like, everyone talks about Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, but, two of the biggest name players in the NFL. And, they have some good connections and that. But Amon-Ra St. Brown was a 4th-round pick in the NFL draft, right? Jared Goff was discarded by the LA Rams and was just sent here as part of a deal to get Stafford in. And they've created one of the best partnerships in the NFL, really, out of anybody. Like, Amon-Ra is a legitimate star. And to be honest, you could say he's also made Goff as well. Like, having that option there all the time, I think it's given Jared Goff a lot of confidence to know he's got that safety net of having Amon-Ra all the time. So when you take such a low draft pick and you take a quarterback who's been sort of done off with, them to create what they have together has been really special, and it's been incredibly clutch. First ever win for us, the Vikings. Who was it? Amon-Ra and Goff. The play that got us our first ever playoff win. In 30 years. Who was it? Amon-Ra and Goff. Like, It is, they are writing their own key narrative and our history here. Every time we say what happened and how did it happen, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I know some of the pairings above them, they're flashy, they have big plays. Like, Amon-Ra's not a flashy receiver, is he? No one talks about him as a top 2-3 receiver because he's not flashy, but he's a damn good receiver. One of the best in the league. And again, from where they've come from, like, they deserve a lot of credit, and it's incredibly difficult for them to do what they have. So they have to be higher. It's just all about the flashiness of it, and it shouldn't be.
What's your favorite aspect of the Detroit Lions team going into this season?
The aspect, I don't really. I just say it's the camaraderie between them. I think the way the team mentally are prepared, that's my favorite thing, because you think over the years, how has this team developed like so good? It's taken its lumps, and then mentally as a unit, they've all gotten together and they've recovered from it. So obviously, first season is rough, but you end it well. You're playing good football at an end of the season where you've been getting tanked everywhere. That's good mentality. Second season, you start winning a few games, you get hot. You miss out on the playoffs by one game. That game where we got humped by Carolina, that's a big fork in the road. And mentally, they overcame it. And then you get to the playoffs last year, they start hot, they're playing good football, they're starting to kill off games a bit more. Mentally, this team, every time they hit a hurdle, you almost now expect them, like we all expect them to come back. Like last year against the 49ers, that in the NFC Championship game, the second that game was over, my first thought would be, like, they're not going to let that happen again, like ever. This team hits a block in the wall, and mentally, I don't know how they do it, but as a unit, they come together, they come back better, and they overcome it. And we can't say that about our teams in the past. How many Lions teams have mentally checked out, have just not been with it? They've maybe been skilled, but they've not had like up here to deal with it. And that's what I love most about this team. Their collective response to hitting bumps in the road and just getting better. Like I say, 3 years of continuous improvement, year on year on year. Can only do that by being strong up here.
We got the training camp starting next week. So let me ask you this, Anthony. Is there 1 or 2, 3 players that you really want to focus on to see how they either develop or what they bring to the team for this upcoming year?
It's the second year guys, I reckon. We've been in a nice position now where all our draft picks don't have to come in and start day one and perform. Like when we first were drafting, all the draft picks were starting. Amon-Ra starting, Penny starting day one. But you look at guys like last year where we've not had to play Colby Sorsdal, we've not had to play Broderick Martin, we've not had to bring these guys in. They've had a year to develop, and trust me, from where they've come, they need a lot of development. And now you're going into year 2. I'm interested to see how these guys are doing, how a year of just being able to prep, under no pressure to play. I mean, they've played a little bit, but for the most part, we've just been able to develop them the way we want to. And now it's going to be very critical for us this year that these guys start to get in the team. Like Sorsdal, we need good offensive line depth. We're going to need Sorsdal to step up there. We need a bit of depth at interior and the defensive line. So we're going to want Broderick to start stepping up a little bit. Hooker, I know he was injured last year, but, you want to see Hooker do well because we could do with the backup quarterback position been a little bit more solidified as well. So, I've got no problems about the first team guys or anything like that. I'm looking for the guys who are just below, the guys who are investing in to step up and then boost the depth of this team. So if you want to go Super Bowl, we all know you've got to have depth, don't you? You've got to be able to replace guys on a whim. So that's the most important thing for me. These depth guys finally starting to filter through into the team as intended.
Yesterday there was a lot of speculation that came out that, hey, you had a couple 49ers beat reporters 2 nights ago saying, hey, they're hearing that potentially the San Francisco 49ers could unload Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk. Then later yesterday, you have Brandon Ayuk's representation or sources come out and say he's requesting a trade. Do you see any world where the Lions could try to acquire one of those or Devontae Adams? Or do you think maybe if they're going to add a receiver, it's somebody else?
I mean, the reason the 49ers can't afford to pay him is because you really can't afford to pay 2 receivers like massive bucks. Like, this is all about roster construction, right? They've obviously got Trent Williams there. You got to pay him a lot of money. You got Kittle there. Got to pay him a lot of money. Got Bosa there. Got to pay him a lot of money. I mean, they're going to have to pay Brock Purdy soon. They can't keep paying him $700,000 a year for the rest of his life. It's, having multiple receivers on top deals is just difficult. And of course, we've just given out a massive deal to one of our top receivers. So, it's a bit tough to envisage that, because he wants a good deal. And Brandon Ayuk, he deserves a good deal. He deserves to be someone's wide receiver 1 so he can shine on his own, get a nice big fat paycheck, and probably for a long time. And it just seems, I don't think we would do it because we have contracts coming up as well that we need to pay. And, there are other positions maybe that if you are going to splurge a bit, that you will go on. Maybe if you're thinking you're waiting for an edge rusher, possibly if the three guys don't work out opposite Hutch. So I wouldn't do it myself. I don't think they would. I think they will give. This is going to be the year of JMO. If JMO's good, we don't need a receiver. And the guys step up behind him. So no, I wouldn't personally, and I don't think they would either.
Last year, there were a lot of people that I think when we drafted Jack Campbell and Broderick Martin, kind of, hey, the fact that they didn't do a ton, especially early in the year, we did see Jack Campbell eventually start, grooming into something middle of the year, later in the year. But what are your expectations for these two defensive players? Do you think Campbell really takes another jump forward? Do you think Martin can contribute to the team this year?
I do. I mean, when we drafted Martin, I always said it was going to be third year that he was going to really pop, because when you've spent your entire collegiate career playing in the FCS and in the CUSA, it's a massive jump in talent. You've got to adapt to the NFL. The gap is vast. So, and especially at positions like defensive tackle, like linebacker, it's difficult to adjust. We've seen with all the Barnes has taken the best part of 4 years to come good at the position. It's not easy, and we're grooming Campbell to be the green dot, the future leader of this defense. Yeah. So there's a lot getting put on his shoulders. So, obviously with him being a first round pick, you'd like to see this year him get into the rotation a little more and to start becoming the guy we know he's going to be. Broderick, you do want to see that as well, but these guys take time, and at certain positions it takes time. And I think we as Lions fans, we've been spoiled under Holmes of how many guys have started day one and looked so good. And, unfortunately, I think Brad has a higher hit rate than the mean, doesn't he? Not normally do these many players start and look like world beaters straight off the bat. We didn't think Laporta was going to do it straight away. We didn't think Branch was going to do it right away and all this. Some guys literally take time, and we just have to accept that with some people, no matter whether you put first round pick on them, seventh round pick on them, as long as you get to the destination you want to go eventually, it doesn't matter. So I do expect them to start seeing the field more this year. But if they're still not finished by the end of the year, I'm not going to be worried, because it's year 2. They've got 3 more years left, and they're going to be just fine. And this team's got good depth. It doesn't need to rush them in just yet. So
it does seem like, give me your thoughts on this. Unlike prior Lions regimes, this regime really does seem to take a lot of, risks with projects or projected players in the middle rounds, later rounds, guys that have some physical talents, but maybe like you alluded to with Broderick Martin, just really need to be groomed, developed, coached up. Do you think that's the right way to go? Or do you think they should take players that are more groomed and ready to go now?
I have 100% implicit trust in Brad. And the reason why, and we go back to the mentality that I talked about with this team earlier. It's not about your current physical set of skills. It's about what you can be. But more importantly, it's what you are up here. Every guy he drafts is a Detroit Lion in terms of the culture that they're building, the grit factor, you look at Penny and Amon-Ra lead the way. Those guys just train maniacally. No matter how good they get, they want to get better. They're never settled. They're never happy. They keep pushing one another. And with all these draft picks you get, you see it, with Branch, with Laporta, there's a mentality aspect to it that only you can come here to Detroit and thrive like you are. So I trust them implicitly. Like with these guys who are developing, who are not ready yet, I think that's fine. I think we're in a position where, especially in the later rounds, you take guys like that. You take guys who are going to fit your system, maybe not now, but you've got to get the guys who are up here and right as well.
Right.
So if I have to wait 3 years for Broderick to be good, if he is what I think he's going to be, I will wait that long. If Colby's going to take 3 years to be what he is, he's going to be just fine, because they are going to be this team. They're going to embody the spirit of this team. And that's the biggest thing this team has. It's Detroit. It's grit. And mentally, that means an awful lot. So I do not mind them doing this for the most part.
All right, Anthony, the last question I got for you. With training camp starting next week, have you changed your predictions or forecasts for this team entering the year? If so, what do you think your ultimate record for the Detroit Lions will be at the end of 2024/25?
I don't think I've made an actual prediction for this team just yet. I kind of want to say that I'm not sure at this moment in time, because that little road, it's tough. Like the nature of the NFL, any given Sunday, anybody can beat anybody. And like that stretch of road games we've got after the bye, like that's a nasty little stretch where you're on the road all the time. It's difficult. It's not going to get easy. We're playing a first place schedule. I would have to see. I would feel a bit more comfortable if during preseason I started to see the depth fill out, like a lot of teams. Like if I see these guys playing well and they look like they're settling and they look like we're going to have a good depth-filled team going into the year, I might notch it up a game or two. I think we'll be in double-digit wins. I think we're going to win the NFC North. I don't see who's going to step on us there. Like the Bears are just they're behind in their rebuild. The Vikings might not have a quarterback because JJ McCarthy's holding out on them, and the Packers, I still just think we're better than the Packers. So I'm not going to make an official prediction yet, but if in training camp and preseason, like these depth players start to shine a little bit, I will up what I'm thinking in my head right now.
Okay, fair enough. All right, and Anthony, I want to thank you for coming on over and joining us this morning, giving your wisdom. Hey, you want to check out Anthony, go ahead. He does a great job covering the Lions. Him and his crew over there, Lions Roar UK, they do a great job also with collegiate football, breaking things down, a lot of stuff. So if you're a football enthusiast, I would recommend you go check them out. Go ahead and give your shout out to everybody, where to get you, where to find you, and hey, how to support you.
So you can find me at Roar of the Lions UK. We are a group of Detroit Lions fans from across the pond. We go live on Mondays, some other times during the week as well. So if you want to come and check out your Detroit Lions news from a British point of view, then come check us out. And of course, you'll find me here, there, and everywhere. I'm with Kurt tomorrow. I've been with you today. So always like to come out and help you guys on. And again, Dan, thank you for having me on. I love this. I love you. Love the new crew. It's good fun. So appreciate it, man.
Hey, thanks for being here, man. All right, we'll see you on the next Lions Talk Live, Anthony. Have a good one, sir.
See you later. Take care.
All right, hey, thank you, Anthony, for jumping on over. Thank you guys for having him on. And, hopefully all of you guys out there, if you're getting ready for the season, you'll head on over to his YouTube channel. I know, like I said, he does a great job with a lot of different things in regards to football. Also, a couple of you guys mentioned Kurt Steele. Go check him out on the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast. It comes on right after ours, typically most days of the week. Then also Moonscar Blade, you asked about Hutch Jr. So he did message me. He said, yeah, just because of the weather when it came through, knocked out their power. So his alarm and other stuff weren't exactly set or whatever when he woke up. He said there was only a couple minutes left in the show. And yeah, he just wasn't able to get on. So we'll get him rescheduled for another time. All right, let's get back to your guys' comment section before we wrap this up today. It's been a great show, and thank you all for all the support, all the stuff. I know, Phil, you sent over $1.99 or whatever it was. I will make sure I go ahead and get a morning Mountain Dew and leave Bobby a little bit of a tip just on you. So thank you very much for that. All right, Doug, I love how Anthony thinks. He has the mind of a coach, fan, GM, balanced thought process. Respect for Amon. Yeah. And I would say I agree with you 100%. So when Anthony goes through a topic, he's incredibly analytical. He tries to remove a lot of his emotions and just go with what his mind and eyes see. So when he says, hey, the Lions, if he was to come out and say, I think they're a 10 or 11 wins team, and he gives his thought process why, there's a lot of validity to it. It's not just an emotional outburst. Hey, Lions are going undefeated. We're just simply Lions. We're the best. He actually gives a lot of thought to it. Him, Kurt Steele, a lot of the guys out there that do this stuff, that try to provide content for you guys, they do a real good job with it. So that's why I like having them on the show. They give some very good intellectual intakes on different topics, especially when you throw questions their way. All right, Don, what do you got? That Ayuk money would take away from Aleem Decker getting paid. Hard pass. Yeah, I know we talked about it yesterday, Don, in the morning. I ultimately think out of the three guys we listed yesterday, he's probably the one I would least want to add. No, I think the Lions could add any of them. Man, the more you look at those numbers with Deebo Samuel or Devontae Adams, I just don't think the math ends up. I could see somebody on a 1-year rental, but that also, I'm not sure if you're getting him if it is just a 1-year rental, because I want to say Devontae Adams has a couple years left on his contract. Same with Debo. Ayuk, that'd be different. You could bring him in just for this year and say, hey, prove it and we'll pay you. Although I just don't see the Lions paying him. So I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to see what Brad Holmes does. All right, Kurt, Anthony will be on your screen tomorrow as well at 8. Okay, yeah, and he did mention that. So, yeah, it'll be good to see you guys together. Bo bossed up Ant-Man. Hey, there you go. Jason Martin turned his body into Rip City compared to his rookie year. Yeah, I think you're spot on with that, Jason. Hey, he came in as a rookie, probably didn't have a whole lot of idea what he needed to do, but give him credit. Give Aleem McNeil, give the coaching staff, give a lot of the players credit. They've helped him understand what his potential is and what he has to do to achieve it. Sort of like Manu this year, Martin was a project that I think the coaching staff, scouting department said, hey, if we can line some things up, this is where the kid's going to be. And I want to say it was, 4 days ago or something like that, where we had an insider give us some information and said from Detroit media, he's the most athletic, in their opinion, defensive tackle in the NFL. And let that sink in, because there are some athletic dudes. And the fact that he could potentially be the most athletic, I mean, if you go look at his RAS scores, his 40 time, his 3-cone drill, his 3-step technique at the combine, he was pretty dang good. Now that he's lost some weight, put on some mass, some strength to boot, those scores might actually be much higher this year than they were just a year ago. All right, Munskar Broski, historically speaking, in the NFL, the franchises that build to sustain start with offensive line and defensive line, then skill and quarterback, without overpaying free agents until they are in the playoffs to get them over the top. Yeah, I would say you're spot on with that. I'm not obviously someone who covers the Bears all the time. I would say that the Bears seem to be doing an accumulation of a lot of different processes. They've had the luxury of drafting incredibly high the last few years. The trade they made to get basically out of the first pick a year ago and then acquire the first pick this year seemingly has worked very well for them. They've also added a lot of guys toward the ends of their career, like Allen from San Diego, or excuse me, the Chargers, LA Chargers, amongst other guys. So they've got a kind of a balance between veterans and youth. It's all, in my opinion, going to come down to Caleb Williams. And you guys have heard me talk. If you watch the show, I'm a USC fan. I've watched Caleb Williams. I think he's got some real strengths. But my biggest worry at the NFL level is his pre and post snap read and his ability to move on from option 1 to get to 2 and 3 quickly. Often at USC, if option 1 wasn't there, he'd pull a backside rip, usually take off outside the tackle, or sometimes between the left guard and left tackle, typically, and take off and run and scramble for yards. The problem at the NFL level is obviously the speed of everybody goes up exponentially. So if you do that too much, your quarterback's going to get hit quite a bit. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I hope he does, just as a selfish USC fan, and that he quickly learns to get from read 1, 2, 3, and then negotiate the route trees. The route trees from college, even at a higher level one, to the NFL are vastly different, just because there are so many more nuances that change post-snap in the defensive reads. That's where you see a lot of people, and I don't care if you're talking Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, whoever you want to throw out there, they often struggle learning to adjust those reads, and it will probably, realistically speaking, it will take Caleb Williams a while to learn to do that. What you had last year in Texans with C.J. Stroud, I mean, he is 100% the anomaly, because he did it fairly quickly and then kept getting better. So give C.J. Stroud a lot of credit for what he did. I think if we all expect every NFL rookie quarterback to do that, though, we're going to be let down pretty heavily. All right, Bo, 14-3 for the prediction record. I'll go with that. Anthony, appreciate you at Doug. All right, buddy, 12-5. I'd take that. 101. What do you got? Winning it all. Obviously, not important to Ayuk. Bailing on San Francisco now. I don't want him in Detroit. Yeah, I would say, he's. I mean, I get, hey, this is your profession. This is what you do for a living. You want to get paid. You want to provide stability financially for your family. So here's what it is. All right, Jason, I'd be thrilled at 46 years old to have a Lions franchise that is modeled, a model of a solid football for years to come. I think if the Steelers had that kind of franchise overall, the Steelers have had a pretty good one, like you're pointing out there, Jason. You know, you could probably name a couple other ones like the Packers. Let's be honest, man. Jordan Love comes out and has another great year. Then, man, they've gone from Don Majkowski to Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. And I get Don Majkowski is not a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he was a very good quarterback for the Packers while they had him. But he didn't have a lot of talent around him. By the time he kind of aged out of the position, Brett Favre was inheriting it from him, and the Packers were already on the rise from a talent standpoint. Buddy, what do you got? Let's see. Good show, Dan. Dan, good show. Thank you for that, buddy. Thanks for always being on the show. Hit that like button. Yeah, if you guys haven't yet hit the like button, please consider doing so. Jason, everybody have a great day, great and safe day. Good Lord bless you all and your families all. Same to you, Jason. Have an outstanding one. 101 Lions will be a very, very good team for at least 3 to 5 years. Just hope rolling the dice on almost needless, risky calls does not hold us back in key games again, like versus the Niners and Dallas. Yeah, I would say this. You know, I talked about it when the Dallas game happened. We can all bemoan the officials blowing the situation. It is what it is. Kick the extra point, in my opinion. Move on to overtime. Go from there. To me, the problem with MCDC, in just analyzing his body structure and language, his vocal tones, etc., he was so enraged with the officials getting that call wrong. I'm going to still go for it and get it. Now you're trying to get a 2-point conversion from, you know, whatever it was, the 7-yard line. That's an emotional call there because it is dang tough to score in the red zone. We all get it, let alone the closer you get to the end zone. And now trying to go for it again. I think the referees knew they kind of messed it up, which is why they got that offside call. And now you went for it again a third time. Hey, if it would have worked, it would have worked. We'd all have had a different conversation. I'm just here to say I think he let his emotions get him there. The NFC title game, you know, the first 4th down call, my only thing is I get you've done it all year. I really ultimately don't have a problem with it. Let's be honest. Josh Reynolds holds on to that pass. It was a great call. The only thing I will say from a coaching standpoint is if you kick that ball and you're already expelled half of the third quarter with that kick. So, yes, the 49ers, you know, took your 17-point lead, turned it to 14. You kick it, and assuming Badgley hits it, you've now removed half of the third quarter, and it's still a 17-point game. You got kickoff play defense, wear them down. Even if they score a touchdown, it's probably near the end of the third quarter, and you still got a 10-point lead. It didn't happen. Hey, let me tell you, I've coached long enough to say anytime something doesn't go right, everybody's going to poke at you. But if you get something right, nobody's going to probably point that out. So it is what it is. All right, Double to what do you got? Rookie quarterbacks are often not ready for the physicality and speed of the pros. I would agree with that 100%. Yeah, it takes a while to adjust. 101 end of the year, 100%. Double one. Let's see. Stafford's first 2 years. Yeah, 100%. Just about every rookie quarterback struggles. All right, Kurt, finished getting ready to work with Boss Up, Ball Out podcast next 8 o'clock with Coach Mike, LL, and myself. All right, we'll get you out of here real quick so everybody can get over there. Moonscar, dang it, Dan, this whole episode I have an A-theme song playing through my head. Well, I'm glad to do that for you. Glad that part didn't get clicked out of the air. So, all right, Kurt, let's see. What do you got? Moonscar Blade, I pity the fool. 100%. I like that. Patrick got here just at the end, but at least I made it. Well, Patrick, I'm glad you're here. As always, man, love to have you on the show. Chuck E. Cheese, Steelers haven't had a losing season in what? Since the coach took over, his name is escaping from me. Man, the Steelers, I get they haven't won a Super Bowl in a while or a playoff game, but talk about stability in a franchise. They've been great for a long, long time. Patrick, here that is laughing out loud. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Broski, Jason should be up to 46 years old. All right. Patrick Cheesebo, good morning. Let's see. Bo, love it when a plan comes together 1,000%. 101, Mike Tomlin, Steelers coach. He's AG. He is, man. And he probably doesn't get enough respect, in my opinion. What you've done with that franchise, yeah, it's hard to win a championship in any league. But to be that stable as far as a winning record all the time, yeah, that's tough. All right, a couple more here. Patrick, morning. Broski Bear, glad to see you're back, 100%. Bo, happy trails to you. All done and dusted. See you all tomorrow. 101, Tomlin, very solid, very solid. Broski Bear, Broski Bear, Moonscar Blade, Poles drafted their secondary first, but has drafted 2 defensive tackles and 2 DEs who are on the active roster polls. Also drafted a right tackle and left tackle, as well as quarterback and wide receivers. Yeah, he's covered a lot of the ground, man. Moonskar Broski Boat new Nightwish album comes out 9/20. First song is available to listen to right now. Moonskar Broski Bear, thumbs up. Broski Bear, top 6 cornerbacks and starting strong safety polls picks. All right. T-Bones Logic, go Lions 100%. And 101 Roar. All right, guys, get over to see Kurt Steele. Went on a little bit longer, but go check him out. If there's some breaking news today, I'll get it to you as fast as possible. If you haven't yet subscribed, Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to 6,900, about 15 subs away. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hit that thumbs up button, and we'll see you all on the next Lions.
Happy trails to you until